Did you know the average American household spent a staggering $78,203 on consumer expenditures in 2024? Wages rose 3.8% during the same period. Do the math. Spending is climbing faster than earning. The gap between what things cost and what people can actually afford widens every single year. But here's what makes this worse. A significant chunk of that spending goes toward things that used to make sense, but simply don't anymore. Products and services that were once reasonable purchases have quietly transformed into financial traps designed to extract maximum dollars for minimum value.
Inflation alone doesn't explain it. Corporate pricing strategies have evolved. Subscription models have multiplied. Convenience fees have stacked on top of convenience fees. The economy you grew up understanding no longer operates by the same rules.
Some purchases that felt normal 5 years ago now border on financial self-sabotage.
The math has shifted so dramatically that continuing old spending habits means actively working against your own wealth. This video breaks down 12 things that are no longer worth your money in 2026. And some will seem obvious, others might surprise you. All of them are quietly draining bank accounts while delivering less value than they used to. Understanding where the money actually goes is the first step toward keeping more of it.
Number 1. Food delivery apps. DoorDash, Uber Eats, Grubhub.
These platforms have fundamentally changed how people eat. They've also fundamentally changed how much people pay for that convenience. The economics are brutal when you actually examine them. Delivery platforms charge restaurants commission fees,
Ranging from 15% to 30% on 30% on every order. Restaurants don't absorb that cost. They pass it directly to customers through inflated menu prices.
Studies have found that prices on delivery apps run approximately 25% higher than the same items purchased in store. That's before any additional fees: delivery fee, service fee, small order fee if your purchase doesn't hit a minimum threshold.
Tip for the driver. Sometimes a busy area surcharge during peak hours.
A meal that costs $12 at the restaurant can easily reach $22 through the app. That's an 83% markup.
For someone else to pick up your food. According to Gordon Haskett Research Advisors,
Delivery app prices have increased another 8 to 12% since 2023 alone. The gap between app prices and restaurant prices keeps growing.
the convenience argument made sense when delivery was occasional. When it becomes habitual, the math becomes devastating. Someone ordering delivery twice a week at a $15 premium per order spends an extra $1,560 annually on the privilege of not driving 10 minutes. That money invested at 8% annual returns for 20 years becomes approximately $7,800 per year of this habit. The delivery apps know exactly what they're doing. The interfaces are designed to minimize friction and maximize ordering. The subscription services like DashPass create illusions of savings while locking you into consistent usage patterns. In 2026, the math no longer works for regular use. The occasional emergency order makes sense. The weekly habit is a wealth transfer from your bank account to corporate shareholders.
Number 2, new cars. The moment you drive a new car off the dealership lot, it loses approximately 20% of its value.
On a $48,000 vehicle, which is close to the average new car price in 2026, that's $900 to $600 evaporating in the time it takes to reach the first stoplight.
By the end of year one, depreciation typically hits 25% to 30%. Your $48,000 car is now worth $33,000 to $36,000. You've lost more than a year's worth of rent for many Americans. The situation worsens if you financed most of the purchase. Negative equity, owing more than the car is worth, happens almost immediately for many buyers. You're trapped in the loan, unable to sell without bringing cash to cover the difference.
5-year-old cars occupy a sweet spot that new car buyers ignore. They've already absorbed the steepest appreciation. They typically don't need major repairs yet. Modern vehicles easily run 150,000 to 200,000 miles with basic maintenance. Buy a reliable 5-year-old car. Drive it for 3 or 4 years. Sell it before major repairs become likely. The depreciation during your ownership period is minimal. Only Alex speaks and lip syncs. All other characters keep their mouths closed. Says compared to a new car buyer,
This creates a recycling effect. One pool of money keeps moving from vehicle to vehicle. Instead of disappearing into depreciation losses, the average monthly payment on a new car loan, this is an example of value depreciation over time,
reached $738 in late 2025, according to Edmunds. That's $8,856 annually before insurance, gas, and maintenance.
Someone buying used with cash eliminates that payment entirely and redirects nearly $9,000 per year toward actual wealth building. Research on millionaire behavior is consistent on this point.
The typical millionaire drives a Toyota, Honda, or Ford. The median price they pay for a vehicle is $31,367.
That's shy. They understand that transportation is a utility, not a status symbol.
New cars in 2026 are financial sinkholes disguised as lifestyle upgrades. Absolutely.
Number 3, sit-down restaurants. Restaurant prices have increased 35% since 2019.
According to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, a hamburger at a casual sit-down restaurant now costs $16 to $22 in most markets. Add a drink and an appetizer, and you're approaching $40 for a single person before tip.
2 people going out for a decent dinner with drinks can easily spend $100 to $140.
That same meal could have cost $50 to $60 just 5 years ago. The value proposition has inverted.
Prices doubled while portions shrank. The experience hasn't improved. If anything, service has declined as restaurants struggle with staffing and costs. Drinks represent the worst markup in the entire restaurant model.
A $14 martini uses $2 worth of ingredients.
A $4 soda costs the restaurant approximately 15 cents. Coffee with a 2,000% markup.
These add-ons exist specifically because margins on food have compressed. Restaurants survive on beverage profits.
The time investment compounds the problem. A sit-down dinner takes 90 minutes to 2 hours.
You could prepare a better meal at home in 30 minutes for a quarter of the price.
This doesn't mean never eating out. Celebration meals still make sense. The occasional experience has value beyond the food itself. But the weekly restaurant habit that many households maintain
Has become economically irrational. A family spending $200 weekly on dining out, not unusual in expensive markets,
Spends $10,400 annually. That same family could eat extraordinarily well at home for $600 monthly.
saving over $3,000 per year while probably eating healthier. The restaurants know customer traffic has declined. Their response has been raising prices further on remaining customers.
rather than improving value. The death spiral continues.
Number 4. Streaming service bundles. The streaming revolution was supposed to save money. Cut cable, pay $8 per month for Netflix, access unlimited content. That value proposition died years ago. Netflix's standard plan now costs $15.49 monthly. Add Disney Plus at $13.99.
Hulu at $17.99. HBO Max at $15.99.
Amazon Prime Video at $8.99. Apple TV Plus at $9.99.
Peacock at $7.99 CIS, and Paramount Plus at $11.99.
Subscribing to all major streaming services now cost over $100 monthly. That's $1,200 annually.
More than many people paid for cable. The platforms deliberately fragment content to force multiple subscriptions. The show you want to watch moves from Netflix to Peacock. The movie you've been waiting for lands on a service you don't have. The sports package requires yet another subscription. This fragmentation is intentional. Each platform wants to create enough exclusive content that you can't cancel.
They're reconstructing the cable bundle they claim to replace. Except now, you're paying separately for each piece.
The average American household subscribes to 4.5 streaming services, according to Deloitte's 2025 Digital Media Trends Report.
That's approximately $60 to $75 monthly spent watching screens. The solution requires discipline most people refuse to exercise. Subscribe to one service at a time.
Watch everything you want on that platform. Cancel. Subscribe to the next one. Rotate through services rather than maintaining all of them simultaneously. This approach costs $12 to $18 monthly, instead of $75. You still access all the content, you just access it sequentially rather than simultaneously. Streaming in 2026 only makes sense if you refuse to play the game they've designed for you.
Number 5. Fast food. Fast food used to be cheap food. That equation no longer holds.
A Big Mac meal at McDonald's costs $12 to $15 in most markets. Chipotle bowls approach $15. Even Taco Bell, historically the cheapest major chain, now charges $10 to $12 for a basic meal. Fast food prices have increased 55% since 2019, according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics.
Menu prices rose nearly 10% in 2023 alone. The trajectory shows no signs of reversing. The value proposition was never health. Everyone understood that.
The value proposition was convenience at low cost. Remove the low cost, and you're left with convenient, unhealthy food at premium prices.
For $15, you can prepare a meal at home with actual nutritional value.
Whole ingredients, vegetables, proteins that didn't come from a freezer bag.
The time difference is minimal. Most simple meals take 15 to 20 minutes.
The fast food habit costs the average regular customer $3,000 to $5,000 annually.
That's money spent actively degrading your health, while enriching corporations that have figured out you'll pay whatever they charge. Fast food made sense when a meal cost $4 to $6. At current prices, it fails every reasonable test of value.
Number 6. Latest generation tech. The new iPhone costs approximately $12,500.
It takes slightly better photos than the phone you already own. It runs the same apps at roughly the same speed.
It provides the same fundamental experience. The marginal improvement between smartphone generations has collapsed to near zero for average users.
The iPhone 16 versus the iPhone 13 offers almost nothing a typical person would notice in daily use. Same Instagram, same email, same texts.
Yet millions of people line up every year to pay $1,200 for imperceptible upgrades.
Planned obsolescence compounds the problem. Manufacturers deliberately slow down older devices through software updates.
Batteries degrade by design. Repair costs approach replacement costs.
The entire ecosystem pushes toward constant replacement. This extends beyond phones.
New laptops, tablets, TVs, and gadgets receive massive marketing pushes despite offering minimal improvements over 3-year-old versions.
The smart approach. Buy technology 1 or 2 generations behind the latest release.
A refurbished iPhone 14 costs half what a new iPhone 16 costs. It does everything you actually need a phone to do. The performance difference is undetectable in normal use.
Someone buying new flagship phones every 2 years spends approximately $600 annually on depreciation alone. That money invested over a career compounds into tens of thousands of dollars for photos that are 3% sharper.
Number 7, expensive weddings. The average American wedding now costs approximately $35,000, according to the Knott's 2024 Real Wedding Study.
That's $35,000 for a single day, one party, 6 hours of your life. Research consistently shows that money is the #1 cause of divorce.
Starting your married life together with $35,000 in debt or $35,000 less in savings seems like strangest sayings.
The wedding industry has perfected emotional manipulation. Everything costs more when the word wedding is attached. A photographer charges double for wedding photos versus family portraits. Flowers triple in price for wedding arrangements. The venue that cost $500 for a corporate event,
It costs $5,000 for a wedding reception. You're not paying for quality, you're paying for the label.
couples who spend $50,000 or more on weddings are 46% more likely to divorce than couples who spend less than $10,000. The correlation might not be causation, but the pattern is striking.
A meaningful ceremony doesn't require financial devastation.
Courthouse weddings are legal. Backyard receptions create genuine memories.
The marriage matters more than the party celebrating it. If you can afford a $35,000 wedding from savings without impacting retirement contributions,
Emergency funds, or other financial goals. By all means, spend what you want.
Your money, your choice. But if that $35,000 is going on credit cards,
Delaying a house down payment or eliminating your financial cushion, you're trading long-term security for short-term spectacle. These photographs do not yield financial returns. Number 8, luxury travel. Airfare costs have increased 30% to 40% since 2019. A round-trip domestic flight that cost $250 now costs $350 to $400. International flights have seen similar increases.
a week-long vacation for two, flights, hotels, food, activities, easily reaches $4,000 to $6,000. A family Disney trip now averages $8,000 to $10,000 for a week, according to travel industry surveys.
For someone earning $50,000 annually, that Disney trip represents 20% of gross income.
After taxes, closer to 25% of take-home pay for 1 week. Travel has genuine value. Experiences create memories. Exposure to different places and cultures enriches life in ways material purchases don't.
The problem isn't travel itself. It's travel that exceeds what your finances can support.
The average American can't cover a $1,000 emergency expense, according to Bankrate. Yet many of those same Americans take multi-thousand-dollar vacations funded by credit cards. The dopamine of vacation today becomes the stress of debt payments for years afterward. Budget travel provides most of the experience at a fraction of the cost. Road trips instead of flights.
Airbnbs instead of resort hotels. Picnics instead of restaurant dinners. Walking tours instead of expensive excursions.
The luxury travel industry has raised prices because people keep paying.
They've found the ceiling, and it's higher than expected. You don't have to participate.
Travel within your means creates genuine enjoyment. Travel beyond your means creates credit card statements that arrive long after the memories fade.
Number 9. Buy now, pay later financing. Affirm, Klarna, Afterpay.
These services have made financing available for virtually everything.
A $50 pair of shoes, a $200 kitchen appliance, a $30 skincare product.
The pitch sounds reasonable. Split your purchase into 4 payments. No interest if you pay on time. Easy and convenient.
The reality is more complicated. These services exist because they're profitable. They're profitable because people pay late fees, miss payments, and accumulate debt they wouldn't have taken on otherwise. Research shows that buy now, pay later users spend 10% to 40% more than they would paying up front.
They're totally allowed. The psychological trick is simple. A $200 purchase feels base in 10 speaks stentav.
4 payments of $50 feels manageable. Your brain processes the smaller number and ignores the total.
You buy things you wouldn't have bought and couldn't actually afford. Nearly 40% of buy now, pay later users
Have missed at least one payment, according to a Federal Reserve Bank survey. Late fees stack up. Some services charge interest on remaining balances. The free financing becomes expensive debt.
The older wisdom remains valid.
If you can't pay cash for something, you can't afford it. Exceptions exist for houses and sometimes cars. Assets with utility that lasts years. But financing a hoodie? Financing a blender? That's debt for consumption, the worst kind.
Every payment plan is designed to separate you from money you haven't earned yet.
The companies offering these services aren't doing you favors. They're building business models on the gap between what you want and what you can actually pay for.
Number 10. Branded products. A bottle of Tide laundry detergent costs $12 to $15.
The store brand version, often manufactured in the same facility, costs $6 to $8. The cleaning performance is virtually identical. This pattern repeats across categories: cereal, pasta sauce, cleaning supplies, over-the-counter medications.
The name brand commands a premium that has nothing to do with product quality and everything to do with marketing budgets and brand recognition.
Consumer Reports testing consistently finds that store brands match or exceed name brand quality in most categories. The generic ibuprofen contains the same active ingredient at the same concentration as Advil for half the price.
The premium you pay for branded products funds advertising campaigns designed to convince you the products are worth the premium. Circular logic that extracts money without delivering corresponding value.
Household spending on consumer packaged goods averages $5,000 to $7,000 annually. Switching from name brands to store brands across the board saves 25% to 40%. That's $1,500 to $2,500 back in your pocket every year for products that perform identically.
Designer clothing takes this phenomenon to an extreme.
A plain hoodie from a luxury brand costs $800 to $1,200. The same hoodie without the logo costs $40 to $60. The material quality difference is marginal.
You're paying for the privilege of advertising someone else's brand. Status consumption has always existed.
What's changed is the scale of markup and the shamelessness with which brands exploit it. Number 11. Subscription boxes. The subscription box industry exploded from novelty to a $32 billion market.
Boxes for makeup, boxes for snacks, boxes for dog toys, box for razor blades, box for wine, box for books, boxes for clothes you didn't choose.
People love surprises. The dopamine hit of opening a mystery package triggers the same reward circuits as gambling. The anticipation often exceeds the satisfaction of the contents.
The math rarely works in your favor. A typical subscription box costs $25 to $50 monthly.